my selfish ways. Caused a good, strong woman like you to walk out my life. Now I'll never get to clean up the mess I made. Yeah. And it haunts me.
Oh shit, I heard myself in the end. Fuck.
That's okay. Welcome to the KYP podcast. My name is Danny. I'm here with my co-host.
KYP James.
Kevin.
And welcome back, Jenna.
Thank you.
It's been a couple of months. You're wearing the same outfit.
It's been a while.
We're all wearing the same outfit from 2 months ago. Wow.
Consistency.
I think this is the button. Oh, there you go.
Woohoo!
Whoops. My bad. Anyways,
That was an emotional intro song.
yeah.
Right there.
I mean, it's nice. I think Jenna is one of our first female guests. It's nice to have a different opinion. Like I said, I think last time you were on the podcast, we were talking about just hopping into different topics, especially relationships, because it's good to have female opinion out there.
Yeah, we talk a lot about our experiences with love and dating, but it's very much from our perspective. Like, I think we try to put ourselves in the other person's shoes, but it's not easy and it's not accurate. So, I mean, yeah, how do we jump right into this?
No, I think as simple as it is that just wanted to know, like, what's your thoughts, feeling about the current dating world? Like, what has it become these days? Is it a jungle?
Look, number one rule for dating is always listen to the woman. She's always right. She's always right. Don't ever disagree with us.
Yeah.
Number
100%.
one rule is you're just wrong. Just don't even try. Okay?
You're
man, I
wrong.
can relate.
Done. Go to your room.
I can relate with that so hard.
I can
Happy-
relate with that too.
Happy wife.
Can we
happy
uncover
life.
that though? That rule? Let's talk about it.
God.
Like, I know you were being maybe sarcastic, but it is true.
Some truth to it.
Yeah. What do you think?
It's a tough one. Y'all are idiots. So let me simplify this for you.
Ah shit, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it today.
I don't know, man. It's tough because I just feel like we just think really differently. Like emotionally, we're like, it's hard to understand each other. So
In your experience, do you find when you're dealing with men versus when you're dealing with women, there's a difference in the level of like emotional awareness or emotional intelligence?
yeah, I find like it's really hard to find a guy who has a good understanding of themselves and like on like an emotional, spiritual level, like has dealt with some of their own shit, you know? Like, I like to kind of figure out, especially at the beginning, like, have you ever been to therapy?
Right.
Yeah.
Or, like, do you know what your, like, traumas are? Or, like, what you've dealt with and that's made you who you are today? Like, I feel like a lot of women do that work.
Right. And I feel like a lot of men, especially younger men, are, don't have a full kind of control of their egos. And that makes them act in certain ways. It's kind of like a defense mechanism from defending yourself from doing that emotional work and facing the flaws.
It's still new for the guys to be able to go through therapy or to talk about your feelings.
Even talk like this.
Because like, it's not so long ago that, like our parents' generation, you weren't told to be talking about your feelings.
Yeah,
right?
suck it up, pussy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
suck it up, tough it out, you'll get through it. And it's just our generation and the younger generations now, it's starting to uncover all that trauma.
Yeah.
But maybe in 100 years, it will probably be in the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Who knows? But right now, it's
Yeah.
it's very new for men in general to be discussing these kind of topics.
Totally.
Yeah.
Would you say there are men out there that aren't trash?
Yes, like all of you. You're perfect.
I got the fish. I was fishing for the
KYP
compliment.
therapy. Thank you.
Thank you. We love the compliment. But for me, I think from what I understood from relationship, that thing, women's always right, is that it come when women argue, they it's like there's an emotion that is connected to it, right? They feel hurt about an action. And I always say that you are never wrong about your feelings. If you feel vexed about something that someone said, you're not wrong about it. You don't have to suck it up and just say you're pussy.
Yeah.
So that's why when women feel hurt about a man's action, their feelings are valid. But then the guy tries to argue with logic because their emotions are not really connected. It's like, hey, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And the woman's like, no, I just want you to acknowledge my feelings and I want you to understand that I feel this way because of your actions.
I have the hardest time to do that.
Yeah.
It's like,
too.
I want, sometimes, cause I learned this from a show, it's like, okay, do you want me to listen or do you want a solution?
Yes.
When
Men
the
are
girl's,
so-
when the girl's ranting,
yeah.
it's
That
either
is-
those two, and usually it's just to listen.
Yeah.
For the dude,
Yeah.
our first instinct is to
to
give logical
figure it out.
solutions.
Yeah.
Solutions.
Yeah, why don't you
Yeah.
just do this? Why,
Yeah.
you know, it's so simple.
That's our
Why don't you
instinct.
just do that?
Yeah.
The main thing I've learned in my relationship has been like kind of what you were touching on. Like a lot of times we want to express ourselves and it's rooted in emotion, and you guys tend to go more on the logic side.
Yeah.
And we don't need solutions. We don't need you to explain why our feelings
Mansplain.
don't make sense or whatever.
Yeah.
We just want you to say like, you know what? I'm sorry that I hurt you like this. I don't want you to feel this way. Like, how can we
Acknowledge
and then
it, yeah.
like you could come up with solutions afterwards. Maybe like, how can we avoid this? You know, like those are important things, but the emotion in the moment needs to be acknowledged for us. A
Like
lot of
the
us.
initial conversation should start with listening first,
Yeah.
and then maybe with solution after.
Totally.
Do you think the solution should be more focused around the girl's feelings rather than the problem? Because because we tend to be logical, we trying to come up with solutions for the problem. So you need
Yeah.
to go tell him this, and you need
Yeah.
to stop doing that. Rather, it's kind of. Do you think it would be more helpful to ask like, when you're feeling this way next time, what can we do to make you feel better, or make you not think about it so much, or
I think like the first thing to do, in my opinion, would be to acknowledge the feeling that the woman is feeling. Okay, you feel hurt because of X action, you know, and you go through, okay, why is it hurting you? Like, you could try to apologize if that's if that's
you need to. Yeah,
if that's in the
in
cards.
most cases, this is where you insert your apology, guys.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean like that one person is right or not, you know, like it's just a feeling that someone felt and you being respectful of that. And she might be in your eyes like overreacting or whatever, but it's still an emotion that triggered something that, you know, is in the realm of hurt, you know?
Yeah.
And like no one wants to be ignored or like told, oh, you know what?
It's not valid.
Or to come up with a solution. Well, you're only hurt because of this. What by like?
Even so, I'm still hurt.
Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of like, I think in many cases the guy might feel like he disagrees that he is in the wrong, or like from his logical standpoint, I don't think I did anything wrong because I do this all the time with my
Okay, let's
guys.
like given a specific example and let's uncover that.
What's a common?
Yeah.
Let's say if a guy is hanging out with a girlfriend he's very close with, and now he's in a relationship with you, and then he just hangs out around and you feel uncomfortable about him hanging out around his girlfriend, and it's like, why are you guys always going one-on-one late at night? You come back late, you don't update me where you're going to the bar drinking with your friend. And she's like, I'm uncomfortable in this situation. And the first thing the guy says, like, but she's just a friend. I think that's like the most valid example.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every woman is different on that point. To me, I'm usually okay as long as I trust the man more than anything.
So
but
if your boyfriend was hanging out with a girl,
yeah.
okay.
Like for me in my relationship, like I have full faith that he'll be true to me. And if he doesn't, then he can go take a hike.
What
But
if you know that she's into him?
that has happened, and
yeah.
You still trust the man.
Yeah, I've warned him, and I'll say, like, knowing women, like, I could sense there is something going on.
Exactly. Not explicit, but there's a feeling.
Like, I'm just gonna warn you that this is probably what's happening. You can hang out all you want, but like, I'm just letting you know that I could sense something, and like, I hope you can like not
Be aware
engage
of it.
too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you know that that's happening, then why are you engaging in the first place?
Why are you taking part of it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Playing with
but
it.
I think you put faith into knowing your partner really well.
I think that's very powerful, like that level of trust. But it's also very, people might feel uncomfortable, giving that level of trust. That shows that you have a very high confidence in your partner.
But it's also, in terms of levels of trust, some people might say, I don't trust my partner, but most people in general, they trust their partner, but they don't trust the
people.
environment and the
Yeah.
people around where he's in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you're going to do if you're intoxicated at a club. I don't trust the girls out there that's going to come up to you.
Yeah, and then a lot of things go unnoticed when you're in that moment.
Yeah.
So you guys, it's one-on-one, nothing's really happening in your mind when you remember last night. But in that moment, there are things that are happening
Yeah.
that just come out naturally, right? As humans. But then you don't remember those kind of details, right?
Yeah. But I think like if you're in a relationship and she's not okay with you being with other women, I think there is a level of compromise. I think a lot of women would probably be like, no, can't have that person around.
Yeah, I think that's the more common disposition.
Is that valid?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you're going to devote your time to someone you love, hopefully you respect their boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm also, kind of on the side of the men too. Like, if you do have a close, like, girlfriend, I mean, you could hang out with them.
And be platonic?
Like, that's a
Do you
tough,
believe that?
it's
Yeah.
a very tough debate.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
a very
So
tough debate.
Let's get it. Let's get
do
deep.
it.
Let's
And
get
here's
deep.
the first
That's a
question.
very
get
tough
deep.
one.
Can men and women be platonic friends?
Okay, my experience, no. My experience with men, I've tried many times, and it has never worked for me.
Yeah.
I do know some girls who do have platonic relationships with guys, so maybe it's just dependent on who you are.
Yeah, it happens. They exist,
Yeah.
but there's context. My short answer is no. As like adults, no. Maybe when you're kids, yeah, you that's possible.
Yeah.
But in the real adult world, I don't think that's.
I got a different answer.
Same.
But I have a caveat because
Yeah.
I do have platonic girlfriends, but most of them we've already dealt with the romantic tension.
Ooh, yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Either
Good
we've
point.
dated and they're our ex, and we had a very respectful and good breakup, and we gave each other time, and then we came back to it, and now we have a platonic friendship that is strictly platonic.
Yeah.
Or we've casually dated, we felt each other in that way, but then we know it's not compatible to go anywhere else, but we still have a connection as people and we're friends. But in all these cases where you get to the platonic friendship, the sexual thing has to be addressed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if it's unaddressed, if nothing, they've not dated, they whatever, and they're just going on coffee dates all the time, the tension is so fucking, it's like on the fucking boiler.
Yeah.
It's like kimchi jjigae fucking popping off.
That was racist. Okay. You
Yo,
looked at the Korean and you saw
Racist.
kimchi jjigae, bro. What the fuck?
Cancel.
Fuck, I'm fucking cancel you, bro.
or it could be Vietnamese for Tokinoise.
Yeah, why don't you infer
That's
to
fucking
Chinese, bro?
racist
Hot
too.
pot or some shit. It's a hot pot of
Pho
ingredients.
doesn't boil, bro.
Yeah, bro.
It doesn't, huh?
No.
Anyway.
Anyways, but Jay.
For me, it is a hard. Okay, no, I'm not gonna say hard no. It's a no. They cannot be friends if at least one of them is attractive. if at least one person is attractive, the other person will naturally be drawn to that person.
Yeah.
You can address the sexual part, but it's very hard. It's just natural for the human to be attracted to that person. If both are attractive, then it's game over.
But I'll also say my perspective is coming on the guy side. I'm saying guys cannot be platonic, cannot see women as platonic friends in most cases unless it's addressed. I think women can see men as platonic friends.
Yeah.
Like it's way easier for me to be friends with a girl if I don't find them attractive.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
It's way
yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way easier.
Because when they're attractive, there is
something yeah.
even for your like, if my girlfriend would be like, oh, she's attractive, so I don't want you to hang out with her because she's attractive. But if she was not attractive, then it's like, okay, sure, go. Like there's that line, right? There's that line.
Yeah. Do you know what it feels like to have an unattractive girlfriend? I don't think so.
I only have guy friends, so
Yeah, okay.
I stay away.
It kind of brings up the question though, like how we kind of view each other as like sexual.
We're animals, man. We're
It's
It's the
fucking
first
animals.
instinct. It's
You
the first
know?
instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say sexual objects, but you know, like our first instinct is like, are they attractive?
Yeah.
Can I be their friend?
Yep.
Do I want to fuck them?
Yeah.
Even if you're dating, like you see someone hot and you're like, okay.
That's your initial like reaction, right? You can't help it. So it's just hard. But you know, if you address it as Kevin said, and like you get over that like sexual tension and whatnot, then I think there's a possibility.
Yeah.
But that's a long ass conversation with your girlfriend or your
Yeah.
boyfriend.
Oh, it's a big
right?
effort. To stay friends with an ex, it's a lot of effort. It's a lot of emotional maturity. You have to be intentional. And my advice for people trying to do that, you have to have a phase where you guys give each other space. At least like 6 months, a year. You can't just go right out of the relationship and then continue to grab coffee every week and go right into a friendship. That does not work.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about you, Daddy?
See, I'm totally different than all of you. I believe that guy and girls can be friends because I look at people more like human beings. Doesn't matter what you have between your legs. And for me,
Calling me shallow, bro.
All of us.
Shotgun.
Yeah, what the fuck, bro?
no, so for me, the way I look at it is maybe it's probably on my side because sex is like probably the lowest tier in my needs, in my
Yeah,
Maslow.
interesting.
And so
Yeah.
in general, I just appreciate beauty in everything's, right? So I love engineering. I love all these things. So I look at motorcycle, knives. I can appreciate pretty things. And I see a girl who's attractive. And I'm like, oh, she's attractive. And that's it. I don't go the extra step. So a lot of my girlfriends are, people do consider them very attractive, but I don't see anything in them because for me, it's just sitting down, talking to someone who has a different mindset or a different way of interacting with me. Because I talk to my bros, they're like, yo, fuck that girl, move on. But then I talk to my girlfriends, like, but why is she acting this way? And for me, it's that interaction of going back and forth, challenging my beliefs that I really appreciate. I don't care how they look. For me, it's the fact that I'm interacting with someone who can challenge my beliefs. And that's why I have like many girlfriends. I don't really care about how attractive they are. And I think it's really depending on the person, right?
Yeah.
If you start looking at people really more on the sexual level, yes, guys and girls cannot be friends.
Yeah, true.
But-
Good point.
For me,
Yeah.
sex is so low on my list. I'd rather spend time with my significant other than sleep with them.
Something
Yeah.
Meaningful, yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you mentioned like the list of things you look for in a partner. I wanted to ask Jenna, what are some things you look for in a guy?
Great sex.
A huge cock.
Huge cock.
Do you like cock, penis, or dick? Like, which is your
Hey,
favorite
yo,
word?
just stick with one question,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Yes,
I like dick though.
I like cock. I like saying cock.
I like dick.
Yeah, because it's an insult.
Oh, wait, pause.
Yo, we're clipping all of this.
Yeah.
You have to say one too. You like
I like dick.
Yeah.
Cock. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you looking for?
Emotional maturity. Emotional
yeah.
maturity. That's definitely number one. Yeah.
So let me ask you: was this always what you were looking for in a guy, or did this change as you got older?
Ooh, interesting.
Because this is
Second layer.
Because dating at this age versus when I was dating in college is very different. I ask girls the same. What do you look for? They're not saying shit like that.
Yeah.
They're saying 6 foot.
Yeah. Looks were definitely top priority in the past.
Of course.
I almost made it a competition for myself to get like the hottest person you could get, just to say that
Because they're the hottest.
I was like, oh, I got that guy. He's just so hot. And which is totally toxic and like nothing to really brag about. And all these people really don't end up caring about you anyway, and I don't care about them. So, well, at the time, obviously. So now that I'm older, obviously, like, I want like the connection that I know I can have, where you feel like you're on the same wavelength as someone, and like there's nothing more intimate than that feeling. Like, you know, when you're laying down with your partner and you're just having a deep conversation and you're just like
lost in your world.
The energy is just like vibing. I sound like a stoner. It's just vibing, man.
And I've realized, like, when you have the deep conversation, the sex is so much better.
Oh yeah.
Oh, when you get that connection.
Yeah, like after you have that conversation, you start fucking.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, that felt good. You know, because
Yeah.
you let it out right here and then you let it out down there. You know.
Yeah.
Like the amount of, you know, how
Just to be
people, they
explicit.
get like one night stands and then they feel like shit right after, because then you feel empty. You didn't accomplish anything.
So like that's the whole phase, right? That's so common these days. I definitely went through mine. Did you guys went through? Did you go through a whole phase? I think I know.
A whole phase?
Oh god.
Yeah.
Whole phase from X age to 21.
Okay, that you got it out early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never had one.
Yeah.
Oh.
I never had a whole phase.
No, because I was
Yeah.
deep into that. So similarly, when I was younger, I think it boils down to dating people for the wrong reasons. Because if you're dating someone because, like, I had the same kind of tendency to go after the most desired girl, you know, the most, everybody, all my teammates on the rugby team or whatever, oh, she's so hot, you know what I mean? Oh, I would do
Just frat boy shit.
right? And then I would like, that becomes the number one target for me. Like, but that's the reason why I want her is all external. Like, she's beautiful. It'll make me validated to other guys, you know, but then when you're in a relationship, now you have to be in a relationship with this person. And, you know, you weren't screening for any of the qualities that make for a good experience when you're actually in the relationship.
Oh my God. I know. I've definitely learned over the past year in my relationship, like, this is hard work. Like, this is so difficult. Like, to give them what they need, to verbalize what you need, when it's also like really hard to understand, like, what is it that I want? What do I need from this person? It's, at least for me, been really hard to be like, okay, I need this type of love, or like, I want this validation, or whatever it is. And to be vulnerable, to like speak about your past, to know what your triggers are. How do we communicate? Like, there are just so many components to a serious relationship that I was not prepared for. My past relationships were very surface level. So this has been like, oof, a lot.
I know, like, you mentioned a lot. You just mentioned right now that you were talking about, what do I want from my partner? What do I need from my partner? In your personal opinion, do you feel like your partner should help you become a better person, or do you feel that you should be the best person and find a compliment towards yourself?
That's a good question.
A lot of the things you're saying, what it takes to have a good relationship, it's a lot of that becomes easier if you've already know how to do that for yourself.
Yeah.
Many people can't even do a lot of those things for themselves, and then they expect to be able to do it for someone else.
I think I've learned like where I'm lacking in internal love, and I see how that's gotten in the way of how I could love properly to him. And I think moving forward, like being the best version of myself is always a top priority, and that in turn is gonna improve our relationship.
Yeah.
And we're kind of taught, I feel, that that's kind of selfish to put yourself first all the time. But that's the only way that I can give you the best Jenna possible. Yeah. And I want him to be doing the exact same thing as much as possible.
It'll help. It's because if that other person's too busy taking care of the other person, then you guys are not focusing on leveling up together.
Yeah.
You're just helping someone else level up while you're neglecting your own.
The scales are not balanced.
Because then once you start taking care of other stuff, let's say you expect the guy to be calling you after his work, but then he's so focused that he works overtime, forgets to call you, then that leads to disappointment.
Yeah.
Because you wanted that quality time with him.
Yeah.
And then just a vicious cycle. And then that's where you fall out of love with someone, because you feel that that person didn't put enough effort into you, but that person was trying to find themselves while trying to cater to your needs.
Yeah.
And it's just trying to juggle all these things together. And it's
so hard.
Such a hard thing, relationship. People look at all these posts on Instagram and Facebook about, the old couple sitting on a bench holding hands.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I was that.
Picture perfect.
And then they get into a relationship, and as soon as the guy goes to a sushi restaurant, picks up the sushi with a fork, and is like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? I'm done with you.
Cancel. Cancel.
Yeah.
What is that? A green text bubble? Nah, next.
It's actually better to pick up with your hands the sushi than with a fork.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, sorry for the cultural reference.
No, I use chopsticks, so.
Oh, that's fine too.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Culture, yes, girl, yes.
Yes, queen.
Give me a oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm definitely clipping that. But yeah, relationship is a tough thing. And I'd say easily, beside trying to find yourself, relationship easily is the second hardest thing to do. And people think it's all rainbows and unicorn.
Yeah.
When it comes to relationship. Wanted to know, like, do you have anything, like any advice or something about trying to find like a good relationship, a healthy relationship to be? What you look for in a partner?
Because we were talking about compatibility, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What are your like go-tos?
You know what? I think one of the most like interesting phases of a relationship is when you have your first argument. And that could tell you so much about someone.
Yep.
How you guys deal with that will tell you everything. And it's not that you can't improve it, because that's just like the first test, but you'll get a clear idea of like what's deep rooted into both of you. And I know I surprised myself when we had our first argument, because I'm a pretty calm.
She's laid back.
I'm a chill person.
Yeah.
That was not a chill Jenna. That was not.
You're throwing the clothes out the window.
I was like, bitch, don't fuck with me.
Oh, she used to be an athlete too. She just fucked someone up.
Yeah, I will punch you. No, but like, I definitely did not react the way I thought I would. And that said a lot to me about my own character and what I need to improve on. And holy shit.
Did the man come out of you?
Yes.
like ghetto Jenna came out?
Oh, she came
So
out.
she can scrap.
Damn.
Oh shit.
Yo,
And I
oh,
think
yeah,
I
go.
surprised him.
You got scared, eh?
No, I think
I scared myself.
You put him in his place. He's, oh shit.
It wasn't good. But it shows you your triggers. It shows you how you want to communicate later on. Like, okay, you spoke to me in this way and that didn't work with me. You know,
Kind of curious what happened.
do I even remember? Shit.
It's okay. We don't have to go
Okay,
too
we
much
don't-
in
yeah.
detail
No,
there.
you know
don't
what
have
I
to
do
know.
have? I
Yeah.
can say this. So I have a thing about being being like spoken over, like
Oh,
interrupted.
yeah.
Like you could interrupt, like we could interrupt each other here, but
Yeah.
like if I'm telling you something important and you're like all ADD or like super, like I consider it rude. And I just like he interrupted me for maybe the third time in a row, and I was just like, can you shut the fuck up? That's why I say, can you shut the fuck up? And like obviously that's so rude.
That triggered him too.
And he was like, yeah, he was like, whoa, you don't have to speak to me that way. And I was like, you don't have to interrupt me that way. And you know how those arguments will end up.
It's just in circles.
Circles there.
It's actually interesting how you mentioned that, because a lot of people don't realize, you know, how a guy's action leads to a girl being offended, hurt, and she retaliates in a certain way, whether it is just lashing out or snapping at him, but that makes the guy feel a certain way. So, and we all know that we have to address women's feeling, right? And then you get into a conundrum that's like, I understand that you feel that way, but you made me feel this way too. But then, especially with my girl, she says, like, why are you always putting your feelings in when I'm expressing your feelings, when I'm expressing my feelings? And it starts trying to juggle with, okay, well, I acknowledge your feelings, but you're not understanding where I'm coming from, how you reacted that way. And
It's like whose feelings matter more almost.
yeah, and it's not a. I tell her, like, it doesn't matter like whose feeling matter more. It's like acknowledging both sides.
Yeah.
And how do you balance between, let's say, acknowledging one's feelings first, apologizing, and then coming to solutions? Like, what should stuff be done first?
One thing I did at the beginning, and I lost track of this, but at the very beginning, we got into an argument, and then I reflected about it the same day, and I wrote down, okay, what pissed me off? That he did this and this. What was wrong in my actions? And I wrote all these things down to express to him the next day. Say like, okay, I reflected about it. I thought I did this and this wrong, and I wish you would have acted this way, or like, I hope you can start being this way or whatever. And I think it takes reflection on both their parts to just take accountability,
Teamwork,
you know?
yeah.
Teamwork.
Because in the moment, both of you want to have your feelings heard, you know? Like,
You want to be right. Yeah.
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 So
And it's like there's too much emotion sometimes in those moments.
yeah, and it takes a lot. That's why emotional maturity is so important, right? Because the person has to have that in order for you guys to have proper communication to work through these problems. So I think, you know, what I've been dealing with is I think I'm starting to kind of build that emotional maturity in myself, but not everyone you meet or you're dating is at the same level, right? So what if, you know, there's a lot of feelings, there's a lot of interest, you're clearly attracted to someone, but they're not at that stage yet. Whereas, like, you know, they're triggered, you know why they're triggered, you know that you want to talk about it directly, but when people are in that mode, they can't, you know, their defense mechanisms are up. They, you know, can't talk about it directly. What have you found anything that kind of helps in this situation,
I think
or we're just fucked? Yeah, we're all fucked. We're just all fucked.
objectively, I would say like both of you should stop arguing. Like, guys both like take a moment to be like, okay, I think this is getting too intense. Let's get back to it in whatever amount of time. But that is so tough in the moment.
It's so tough to disengage.
I haven't mastered that.
Yeah. So I mean, I could talk a little bit about that. I mean, my current relationship is that if we're both arguing, it could get nuclear. But in order to avoid that, I'm responsible to not engage, to stop it right there. Say, okay, let's calm down, because I feel like she's not gonna let go, and if I keep fucking going at it, it's just gonna go do like back and forth, nothing's
So
gonna change.
if you
Circles.
have that, if you
I have
that
the self-control,
perspective,
yeah.
Yeah.
I have the self-control. It's like it clicks in my brain.
So it should
okay,
be your,
just stop. Just
you give her some grace.
because sometimes it's my pride, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like it's hurting my pride to be like, okay, I'm sorry, you know.
Yeah.
But if I do that, then she's gonna calm down right away,
yeah,
right? And it's just about letting go of your pride
Yeah.
yeah,
in that moment, and then reflect on it.
yeah.
But it's so hard. I know in the moment it's hard, but if your thought is like, okay, this is escalating a bit too much, or like I feel like I'm gonna go nuclear soon, that's when I'm like, okay, stop.
Yeah. If you have that thought, that's
Because
great. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to be
yeah.
that person
Yeah.
to go so fucking like mad, because
Yeah.
I'm like my dad. Like my dad could be super nice, but when you piss him off, the demon
The
comes
rage,
out.
the
And I
rage.
have that same rage because I've seen him like that, right, as a kid.
Yeah.
And I hate myself when I'm like that. So I think about that moment. I don't want to be that person. Okay, stop.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of self-reflecting and not wanting to be that person anymore, to be like, okay, next time if I'm in this situation, I'll try,
Yeah.
to kill my pride.
That takes a lot of like maturity in the moment with
It's tough.
with so much anger to just say like, stop.
I'm sorry. Just even say I'm sorry, even though it's not my fault, Say, I'm sorry.
And like Jay mentioned about like the ego thing, and I don't know about you guys, but for me, especially if I do an action and it leads to a reaction from my significant other, a lot of times in my mind, I'm like, what I did is not wrong, but why did it make you feel that way? And that's why when my significant other is very vexed or hurt about my action, I said, I just did this simple thing. I didn't think it would hurt you that much. And that's why argument escalate, because the woman says, what you did is what you did hurt me. But then in our mind, it's like, I did something wrong to you, even though I did nothing wrong in my opinion. And
Like,
that's why.
from your perspective, you're thinking of the intention.
Yes, exactly.
The intention behind you doing it had nothing to do with her or directed to her at all.
Yeah.
But she took it that way.
Yeah.
So there's the disconnect there.
And that's when Jenna was saying earlier, it's like you need to hear her point.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hear it out and then maybe think about it. But you're
It's
the guy,
hard.
bro. You got to
Yeah.
say, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just say I'm sorry.
And
That's
then
why
it's done.
we circle back to,
Yeah.
women are always right.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the first point. There
First
you go.
point.
But you know what? Like my boyfriend is not that way at all. He doesn't believe in that. He really doesn't. And he has said multiple times, like when we're heated, like if you want, you could go find yourself a pick-me guy who's gonna be like, oh yeah, you're always right. Yeah, no.
No bad.
But he was like,
Ooh,
if
he
you
has a
really want
backbone. He has a
that,
backbone.
you could get that if you want.
He's got a
But-
big dick, eh?
But tell me,
He's got a big dick.
tell me if that's really what you want. And it does make me think a lot. Like he will challenge me, like he will go at it intensely with me. But do I really want a guy to just kind of be like, oh yeah, you're right?
Yeah. I think
Because that's like sweeping things under the rug too.
Yeah.
So that's also the last thing that I want.
I think a lot of girls think that's what they want
Yeah.
because so many guys give that. Like, can I say the word simp? Simps?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
would probably
get,
be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get canceled.
Yeah, cancel.
But there's a lot of
cancel.
there's
Wait,
a lot of,
why? What's wrong with simp?
No, I don't know.
I'm a simp.
Yeah.
You can get banned on Twitch for saying that.
But
Wow.
like the whole friend zone type guy.
Friend zone,
right?
there you go.
There's certain guys that women are hang out with because they're sexually attracted with, and then there's certain guys they hang out with because they give positive attention.
Yeah.
And and then I think there is a blurring of the lines, right? Because the girl will have an experience where there's so many guys around her that, you know, validates everything she says, you know, does everything she wants, and then she tries to kind of transpose that on the guys she's actually attracted to, but those are two very different types of people, right? And then it's kind of like the trade-off. Do I want this guy, but then I don't feel the, you know, it's missing
Spark.
everything's great, but it's missing the je ne sais quoi,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you
Are you projecting on her, bro? Like, where's this coming from?
No, let's find out. Does that sound familiar to you?
Yeah, totally.
Yo,
Totally.
you stop projecting, bitch. You stop projecting, bitch.
There have been like many of the friend zone type dudes, and that's why you always hear the girls saying like, "We like the bad boys." Yeah, we want the bad boys, the toxic ones.
And it's true.
Sometime, but like, we just want the genuine guy, like a good, genuine guy who's attractive.
6 foot, blah blah blah.
Maybe. I don't know.
If you find one of those, hit me up.
For real.
What?
So do you like dick or cock?
You go to Unity. You go to Unity one night, and this is what happens.
Hey, it was a slip. It was a slip.
I'm calling Mina right
It
now.
was a sexual whatever.
Oh man. I mean, there's one sitting right in front of you.
You're not 6 foot, sorry, bro.
I'm
You're not my
Close.
type.
I'm close.
Not your type. Shout out.
Shout out, not your type.
Shout out another collaboration with Jenna, not your type.
Ooh, yeah.
But we were
Time for
talking
merch.
earlier. It's about the entire thing about go find another guy who has like no backbone and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to conflict with relationship, when the other party goes nuclear and just says, "Why are you still with me? Go find some other person. Go date someone else who will agree with you," as like a last resort defense, or just leave me. I think it does nothing to the argument, and it just frustrates the other partner because you both are putting so much effort.
Yeah.
And for the other person to just say, "Okay, just go find a better person," it really hits a nerve, and it makes the other person go even more nuclear.
Yeah.
People go nuclear so willy-nilly in relationships.
Exactly.
Bring it up, you know.
Yeah.
It's,
It doesn't do anything.
No.
It makes you think about it even more.
Yeah.
And every time like there's an argument that's coming up, like it kind of pops into your mind like that the person's going to say that. You know?
it hurts.
No, you're like, do they actually mean that?
Mm-hmm.
Do they want to break up with me? Right?
Like, why is that top of mind? Like, you know,
Yeah. In that moment,
whenever
yeah.
we get into argument, why is that top of mind for you?
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
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 But I think it's like really, I mean, when I'm like really pissed, I might think like, fuck this guy. Like, oh, you're so annoying. Like, I could use someone better than you. Like, fuck this, you know?
You got
I could
triggered.
do so much better than you.
Yeah, like I could go find someone better. But then like when you calm down the next day, like that's when you know the truth. Like, do I still really hate his guts?
No. Do you? No.
No.
No. It's just in the moment.
I think we're starting to run out of time, but
It goes by fast, eh?
yeah, I
Yeah.
think the last question I have is there's two types of people out there. The first person wants to resolve all conflicts before they fall asleep. The second needs time to think and go back and talk about it. I don't think there's a right or wrong way of dealing about it, but I just wanted your thoughts on what type you are and what do you think is the best approach on your side.
I definitely need time and space. I'm definitely like that, which I know can be so frustrating for the other person.
I think it's good though.
I think like the emotion is too strong to like really resolve something in the moment.
That's why cigarettes are amazing. Like, I swear, I'm in the middle of an argument with my girl. Okay, let me go fucking smoke because I'm fucking angry.
Right.
I say, no, don't leave, you bitch. I'm gonna fucking walk out. And then, but if I go for that smoke and I come back in, I'm so calm.
Yeah.
You can't touch me no more.
Maybe
No,
I should
like-
start smoking.
Like, oh yeah, I 100% recommend. No. But like, it's just that 2 minutes of smoking and just getting some air.
Debrief,
air.
yeah.
Yeah, debriefing. And then I come back inside. All right, I'm ready for another round. You know, like.
I need like hours of smoking.
You need hours, okay?
Yeah. It depends,
Maybe
right?
that's
yeah.
why you do painting.
For show.
Oh, that'd be
Right?
some good art.
Yeah.
It'd be
a
all,
lot of
Just-
passion.
all red and black.
Guys, if
Baby,
you,
let me just paint for a minute. You come back, it's like a painting of like a
Death.
sword in their head.
yeah, we got like a Picasso over here.
Yeah.
If you see my latest Instagram post,
Yeah.
Jenna_MTL. Like I have a really emotional one that it's honestly my first time like really expressing my deepest emotion.
Ooh, came raw.
Yeah, it was a real like raw one from how I was feeling this winter. And yeah, I think I expressed it like really well. It was a moment of vulnerability.
It's the latest one. I want to
Yeah.
see after. You'll
Yeah,
show us after.
definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah, it's like a purple one. Yeah.
Ooh, my favorite color.
Do we
Yeah?
have time for one last question?
Yeah, hit
it's
it.
about your art. Like, I noticed a theme in the colors and the style. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Nice. Good question.
I definitely love portraits. Like that's my number one thing
Yep.
because I know that my life story has been like really wild to me and like so much emotion, and I love knowing about other people's stories and how intense their lives. Like all of you guys have told me a lot too, and yeah, I see in your face like it's
So
a fucking
intense.
crazy life.
Yeah.
So I like expressing people's stories through art, and I like bright colors. I like just like pop. I like a pop of color, you know.
But what's your favorite color?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I see like a purple, blue,
Purple, blue, yellow. That's what I'm into right now.
a lot of curves and waves.
I like the wave, like I kind of the wave of life. Wave of
You're right in the wave.
ride in the
flowy,
wave. Yeah. Like
Sunset, sunny day.
in high school, everyone knew me as like go with the flow,
Yeah, that's
Jenna.
very stoner. like,
Jenna was
stoner
very
skater.
go with the flow.
She was a skater.
She said, "See you later." Yeah, I was the stoner who always said go with the flow, and I actually totally believe in that. So, yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it for this episode. Jenna, again, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Jenna_MTL. Soon gonna come up with a new name like Vagina or genitalia.
Jenna,
Don't say the other
Talia.
one.
Leave in the comments what my name should be. My name is Jenna.
Wrong answers only.
Wrong answers only.
Yes, please give me names.
But yeah. And it's been also 2 months since we recorded this episode, even though we're wearing the same clothing. So
Yeah.
she still hasn't had that geotag with all her arts on.
We're joking, by the way.
Yeah,
For the-
definitely.
For the viewers.
Oh, and guys, let's see. Is my ass still wet?
Hey, whoa,
Hey.
whoa, chill, chill,
Whoa,
chill,
whoa,
Sorry,
whoa.
sorry, guys.
chill.
We don't have the
Sorry, guys.
licensing
Chill.
for this.
Hey, yo.
We don't have the permits for
Hey,
this.
yo.
Canceled. Just for context, I spilt a whole beer and I wet my ass, but it looks like it's drying. But I feel my ass very damp right now. So
Are we clipping this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, as always, my name is Danny. I'm
Yo,
with my co-host
KYP James.
Kevin.
and our special guest.
Jenna.
And remember,
To KYP.
Kill your pride, baby.
Woo!
Cold, cold, cold. You always leave me unread. Did I say something wrong? 'Cause I've been asking your friend. Don't know what's going on.